A year ago, when I graduated from university, I was like, okay, but what do people do after graduation? Like, what do they do? They go work, but where? Most of the people that graduated and that I know don't work in the field they graduated, and they're like just working somewhere. In Russia, a lot of people have like bachelor degrees and master's degrees, but at the same time they work like in sales or something like this. And I had depression for about that, like for 2 months, I guess. I was just thinking, what do people do? What was my questions? What do you want to do when you graduate university? And this question, I knew that is like a normal thing. Because after a month, my question was not answered. I just understood that most of the people that graduated before me, like a year before me, like some of my friends, or they don't study anymore, what do? They just work. Have a crisis like I started to have, and my friend said to me, like, you don't see? Everybody is just doing something. Maybe they don't love it. Maybe they don't know why they are doing it. They just do something and something comes out of it. That's all. They don't know what they're doing either. You will not know from this point in your life what you are doing and why. And it was at the same time only for 1.5 months, because when I graduated, after that I visited my friends. She was living in Moscow for the time and she was working for a big IT company. And she was like, we have a guy in my project, he wants to do his master's, so he will work only until end of August. Do you want to come to my project and work in my company? I was like, nothing, like doing nothing and becoming money for it? Yes, of course. Because I didn't know what to do. Like, I love my degree. It was interesting, but I don't want to work with my degree. So I had 2 months of like free period when I had to have money to live and wait for the job. So 1 month I was just laying in bed and not knowing what I am doing with my life. And the other month I was working in a shop, like as a cashier with like Asian foods. That was fun. Like, it was a good thing that I went out from my cage with this like thinking and saw some people, meet some people. So yeah, in 2 months after we were talking about this with my friends, I got the job. I was very nervous that I won't get it because it was my first my first communication was a corporate, was a big company. I was thinking, oh my god, this is like such a big company, and now I work in this company. So I worked for a year and 2 months and 2 days there. And it's like I work in my second project now because my first project was like cancelled in spring, and I don't like my project now because it's a project for older women who have kids, who have a lot to do, and they don't want to think when they work. Like, it's a responsible job, but you don't have to think like creatively, what I wanted to do my whole life. Because when I was in like fourth year of studying bachelor, I had like 3 jobs. I was like doing my exams. I don't know, working as a tutor. At the same time, I was like giving lectures to some school kids, like a lot. And I wanted something creative. But I understood at the same time that I like the company I work in. Corporate is cool in the way that you don't think about your payments. You don't think that tomorrow will be something like, I don't know, you get fired. You will never get fired in a corporate job. Like, never. You can do shit, like, for real. It's when you get in, it's hard to get out. So and I'm doing not like IT work. And I understood, okay, like this is a good thing because I knew that I can grow from it. I can I have time to have this job, to have the money to live, to have a stable, like nothing will happen. I know what to do on my job. It was new, but yeah, I needed like some months to figure it out, but nobody was pushing me. Everybody was like so lovely and we're like, okay, we will help you, okay. So after a year, I would say, no, like after 9 months, when I got my second project, I was like, I don't want to do this shit. This is not what I used to do. Like, I don't want to have this kind of responsibilities. I want to grow, okay? I'm ready to grow. Like a year ago, I didn't know what I wanted to do. A year passed, a lot of happened. I moved to another country, like a lot of happened. But I'm okay to grow with my like career. So I'm ready to grow with my career. What do I want to do? What? Like, that's the question. And I know that most of my friends don't know what they're doing either. I know that. It's not a new thing for me that a lot of people, like the most of the people don't know what they're doing. I work in a project that I don't like. I work with people that are like 40. They work like 2 years in this project. And I hate it after like 5 months. Like, okay, now 3 months. And the last 2-3 months, I'm just like saying that I will get out from this project. Because I needed to be employed in Hungary. But now I am, So it's time to grow. What people do when they want to grow? Okay, we will change. La 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 la. Okay, we changed the location. Like not far away, but okay, we have a new location. A new light. Do I like better like this? I need a haircut, like, yeah. So, back to the topic. What people do, how to change my life, how to decide where I want to grow. And I know that I'm only 23. I know that like you can be only 54. It doesn't matter. Like what my mom really told me, that you can change a new career, a new profession, a new, I don't know what, everything, a new identity when you are like 40, 50, it doesn't matter. My mom was an engineer her whole life, a civil engineer, and when she was 40, she's like, I want to be a teacher for arts. Why not? Like she got a second degree, she was like popping it. So I know that I'm not like, I don't need to decide what I want to be in life right now. But I want to decide something more interesting that I'm doing now, and I have the possibilities. I need to work 2 years in this company now. I will live in Hungary 2 years, and I can have some corporate, like studying for free. So, what does it say for me? I was thinking, I was like, okay, what do I like to do? Which field do I know? Because of this year, I met a lot of different like people who work in different subjects of IT in my company because they relocated with me, or we need to be like, we met in the office, I don't know. So I was like, okay, what can I do to understand what I want? And I was talking to them, like, to different people. You don't know, like, these people don't know either what they're doing in their life. A lot of people just have an IT degree, like guys, and they're like, I'm a back ender, I'm a front ender, I'm this, just because I know how to work in this field. That's all. That's the most of the people. But I'm not a front ender or back ender. I don't want to get an IT. I want to have this middle job in between IT and something like managing administration, because I can't do it. I know that. So, and actually, I think that I will switch the topic to networking, because I think it's very important to know how to talk to people. I know that for a lot of people it's like strange, or they're not really used to speaking to people, ask them what they think about things. But more you speak with different people, more opinions do you have to process in your mind. So I was talking to a woman from like my project, like the big project of projects. So like a woman from my company, and I was like, I want to talk more and I want to do something managed, but at the same time, I'm a good analyst. And she was like, okay, you can be this. And I was like, never heard of this job? Okay. And I was like, okay, we're doing it. Like, we were searching what this is like. I was searching, I found a YouTube video about this job where a man was like explaining what do you need and what you can have. I found some job descriptions. I was like, okay, that sounds nice. Then I was like, okay, what was my backup, like thinking about other jobs? I was like, okay, this is not very good in Hungary. Maybe we're not doing that. That was not the right choice. Okay, we have this. What we are thinking about this. And now I understand that, okay, I like two jobs. I like two jobs descriptions. But how do I choose? How do I get into it? Because one is like, I never heard of her. I don't know what to do, like exactly there. The other one, okay, I am familiar. Like, I have some friends that work in this field. I have some people, like, I can say that I know a little bit about this job. So I was like, how? And the thing is that as long as I think, I get more depressed and I don't know what to do with my life, the more and more I think, and I want to scroll to TikTok like 3 hours in a row just because I don't want to think about that. So I decided that these are my two options for 8 p.m. on the 8th of November. Tomorrow, everything can change, and I will be prepared for that. I will talk to more people. But is it this important to know what do you want to do? Is it this important to decide which field do you want to be? I got myself like a phrase that is in my head for the last year, like year and a half, when this depression and not knowing what I want to be when I will be an adult or grow up, I don't know, will be. So, and it is so simple for me. I just said to myself, you have the opportunity to learn something new that you don't know, and you need to work only 2 years, which from you work like 4 months from now. So, what if you work 1 year on a job that you really won't like at the end, but you will work this year through, you will have new networking connections, you will have new things that you learned. So you learned something, you grew in your career in some point, and you can add it to your resume. And when you will be 25 in 2 years, you can say in your resume, okay, I worked for this company 3 years, and I changed, I was this, and this. Does it sound good? Can I, in the middle of this, hate my job? Yes. But does it sound good? Yes. Like, for me, it's amazing that people have like 6 years experience in one field, or they're like, I worked 3 years here, so I'm middle testing engineer, and like 2 years here, so I'm like middle this, and at the same time I worked 8 years in engineering, I'm an engineer, like a senior engineer. That's so cool, but that's not about me. And I just needed to tell myself that, and that was very hard because I have a lot of things that I can do, a lot of things that I can add to different resumes. It depends which job I want to know, which job I want to have, and I know that I can have this job. So is it this hard to decide what do you want to be? Yes, it is. But failure is a good learning point. From failure you can grow like faster and wider and shit like that. So will I take the risk? I guess so. Today is eclipse. Full moon eclipse? Yes. Do I give a shit? No. And you should not too. You never know what things that you learned in some kinds will help you. IT is a corporate sphere, as a lot of things that we think is too. It's so corporate you cannot even imagine if you don't work in IT, like in a big corporate company. So the thing that matters for me, doesn't need to matter for you. That for me, it's important to learn, to grow. I can hate the thing that I do. I had mental breakdowns when I did my diploma, but I love my diploma at the end because not the diploma was shitty, like my teacher to the diploma was shitty. That's all. Like, she wanted me to cry over it. But I had the coolest diploma, like, I think, in my course. Like, one of them. Because I did it myself. And because I was just Shafty's muse when here at Uncut Jams. Yeah, okay, so do we need to learn in our life? Yeah, I think so. Because I want to be the grandma that speaks with younger generations and know what's up. I want to be free-minded. And you cannot be free-minded if you don't learn your whole life. You cannot be really free-minded if you don't have a lot of different things that you tried and failed in your life. It's really what I think. Really. For real. So, do we want to grow? All of us? Yes, we do. We do. We are very, like, we don't want to take the risk, but we do. And as one of my best friends said, and I'm thinking sometimes about that, I was like, okay, you want to get into a business right now in Russia. Okay, girl. But she was like, yeah, what I have to like lose? I can always work on a shitty job and live in my own room. But now I'm hyping up. I have money. I have like the idea. I have ideas and something that I want to do. What is stopping me? Fear. It's stopping a lot of people, but the risk is always like you can find in every risk something good for yourself, for your growth, for your mental health, for a lot of things. So what's the point to not do it? To not grow out of you? What's the point? Yeah. And I know that it is hard sometimes to sit down and tell yourself, okay, we have a fear of failure. We think we are not smart enough. Yeah, maybe I am not too. I decided, kinda, to learn something that I don't have a clue about, like zero. Am I interested in the subject? Yes. So, nothing, like, if they say you cannot learn that because you don't have this, I was like, okay, I can learn this to be there. What's the point? So please, if you feel bad about your job decision, if you think you are not good enough for the thing that you do, and if you think that somebody got a clue what they are doing, don't think like that. Most people just find the comfort zone that they are very comfortable sitting in. They're like they have this shell. They're like, I'm in a house. You cannot like touch me. But this house is not stable. Something can happen. We live in a crazy world. Like the last 2.5 years were crazy. Last night I was laying down. I was like, okay, tomorrow I need to think more about what I want to be in, like which job do I want to have. And then I was like, okay, I want actually to live like 2 years ago. I was like, what was 2 years ago? Where was I 2 years ago? I was like, it wasn't the third year of studying university. I was like, no. After 10 minutes of thinking, I understood that 2020 was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was autumn. It was my last year of university. And I lived my best life. Like for real. It was 2 years ago. What was 3 years ago? Oh my God. 3 years ago, we didn't know about COVID. We didn't know about COVID, war, like epidemic that is happening right now. Like COVID is here. Like in Asia it is, at least. So, does it matter what we are doing now? Yeah, it does matter. But does it matter in this sense that we know what will happen tomorrow? It will be safe, that we will have like our best job if we will be sitting in our shitty job? No. We need to go somewhere, and I understand it's not for everybody, but please try at least to do something that you like more, that you're doing like right now, please try. Just try. You can every time go back to the thing you were. I can every time go back to Russia. I can every time be a teacher. I can every time be a restorer for urban sculpture. If I want to. But for now, I want to work in IT 2 years and live in Hungary. So the fear is not this, like, you can find something that you are afraid of more than the fear of being not in the comfort zone. Love you.